Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Ted Looks at Life. What's happening? Good to see you. User 575-217-03-8542. Good to see you. Nice, memorable name. I like it. It's solid. Solid. If you'd have had a couple of numbers in a row, it would have thrown me. The fact that they're all different. They're all, that's Fibonacci's sequence. I like it. Solid. It's like a mathematician's dream. Yeah. Nanu. What's happening? What's happening, Joxer? What's going down? What's shaking? Lots going on. The internet is back in ChatGPT, except not in my fucking ChatGPT. Those sons of bitches, I got nothing. Everyone's like, I can play with images. I can play with this. The internet's back. And I'm looking at mine. It's like, welcome everyone to the AI Learning Lab. This is Larry. That's Larry from Larry's Hedgehogs lawn care service, landscaping service. We made him last night. Let's see. What else we got here? What else we want to look at? Well. Let's see. Am I late? AI Learning Lab. This is the AI Learning Lab. My name's Kyle Shannon. Paulie Z, what is up, KS? What's going down? Bigfoot Electro, hello from Virginia. Welcome to Virginia. What was that line? It was a line of a play I was in called The Amazing Adventures of Tense Guy. Oh, and one of the actors, Mark Ashmore, he's fucking hilarious. He misread one of the lines. The line was, get me Langley, Virginia, right? get me the CIA headquarters, or FBI, CIA, FBI. And he goes, get me Langley, Virginia. He thought Virginia was like the secretary's name. Pretty funny. Oh, man. Working on the comics with Dolly and Midjourney. Nice. Do you have access to Dolly 3 yet, Joxer? I don't have nothing. I got nothing. Gotta have them winders for Bing ChatGPT. ChatGPT. You know, one of the things we talk about here in AI Learning Lab is
you can make money with ChatGPT.
So AI is just like NFTs, except if you send $100,000 to my World ID in WorldCoin, then your ChatGPT, you'll make money with this is solid gold. I made this out of a nugget I dug in the Yukon. All right, so we'll let some people get in here. A lot of folks in here. I learned about HeyGen from you on a previous stream. The demo blew my mind. Go check out my latest. You want to see something really fucking wild? Go check out my latest video in my channel. Is this it? No, that's not it. Hang on. Look at this thing. This is just getting dumb at this point, man. Man. All right, look. Oh, wait, you can't. So, yeah. So this is just a Storyvine video. Storyvine's my company. But then look, that there's Chinese. Mandarin Chinese. Watch this.
23日会议讲是什么样子？我将分享人工智能及其实现的许多知识。我将分享我们目前的内容模块化方法，以及我如何扩展该产品和功能机的经验和策略。我还要谈谈已经整合到 Storyvine 中的 AI 工具。
Now here's one weird thing. So notice that my hand is inside my face because what they're doing is they're kind of synthing the lower half of your face and then laying it on top of the video. So they're not masking out the hands if they go over. And I'm a hand talker. So if I'm gonna record any of these that I actually use for anything other than a demo, I need to not do that. But still, even with this, it's like totally forgivable because it's like fully fluent Chinese, with lip movement, and it sounds like me.
正在考虑整合到 Storyvine 中的工具。
Storyvine
最重要的是 听取您对有价值、令人兴奋、可等待、使命关键的反馈意见。这个输入确定产品和功能路线，图需加快推进的内容，让您对所有这些新发展感到兴奋。
So that's Hey Jen. So anyway, welcome everyone. This is the AI Learning Lab, and my name's Kyle Shannon, and we'll get started here. So generally what we do here, if you're new here, I'm a little bit about my background. I'm an entrepreneur of... I've started enough companies that I'm now officially not hireable anywhere. And my current gig is, this is like all Storyvine tonight, right? I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Storyvine. I even have a hat here. Look. See? This is solid. So that's my day job. I've been kind of deep diving into this generative AI stuff for about, I don't know, 2 years now? And ever since ChatGPT, I've lost my fucking mind. So this channel, I go live every night here. I'll answer any questions you have. This channel is really about the inflection point that started on November 30th, 2022, so the launch of ChatGPT. Prior to that point, machine learning and AI was really the domain of, data scientists and mathematicians and researchers and engineers. And after that point, it's for the rest of us to figure out, like, what are we going to do with this stuff? What are we going to do with these tools now that these tools are in our hands? November 1st marks general availability of ChatGPT inside Office 365. So you're going to have ChatGPT within Word and PowerPoint and Excel. It's already in Windows 11. It's already in GitHub Copilot. It's already in all the Google things, not GPT-4. Theirs is barred. But all the Google Office docs have access to this thing called Duet, which is kind of a shitty version of it, but it's going to get better quick. ChatGPT has gone multimodal, where it can see images now. It can see. I saw a thing today. A guy took a screenshot of a computer interface and asked ChatGPT to analyze the components of the computer interface and write the code for the different components. And it did it, and it was good. It's like, wow! So we have no idea, zero idea what it means to have a tool like ChatGPT when it can now speak and listen and see and draw and make words. And, within some short amount of time, it'll be able to do music and video too. And, once we have all of the media, all bets are off. What do we do with that? I don't know. I'm a Gen Xer. Look, I have an AARP card. That just came today. I'm a little bitter. ChatGPT hasn't given me access to the new toys yet. I flip and advertise their silly little company every night for like 4 months, and they don't give me access to the new toys. Really, ChatGPT? Really? I made a button for you.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
Nothing? So anyway, if you have questions, pop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. I'll go through some of these, if you want to get started, where to start. But let's just jump in and start answering some questions. Winston joined. Good day, Winston. There's Pate. Good to see you, sir. Good day, sire. Good day. How are you? Well, I'm rather fine. I do wonder, Mr. Shannon, what are your qualifications? No, well, now we're asking for qualifications, are we? Well, I think it's quite reasonable to wonder, if I'm at a learning lab, what are we learning at the lab? And if you're teaching at the lab, what are your qualifications? Seems a relatively straightforward question, does it not? Well, I suppose for you it does. All right. Let's let that one hanging right there. All right. I did not see your play. Which play? I do every night. Here's a play. Oh, I learned about Hey Gen from you on a previous one. We talked about that. Started at 38,000, now at 20,000 in the queue. This free version is really going to take 4 days to render. I got to pay up. I know my Mandarin one, the one I just showed. I got in. It was like 83,000, and I think mine took 5 days. So yeah, it took a while. I forgot about it, and then I got an email this morning that said, "Here's your Mandarin." Yeah, I'm gonna pay up for that as well because I got to do it for my company because this is too important technology not to be building stuff on. So anyway, yeah, exactly. Learning how important using the right words for prompts is. Yeah, it's using the right words that having being experimental and having a good sense of language logic is definitely an advantage. But one of the things that you can also do, Herod is one of the irregulars here. And he came on the other night and was talking about the fact the other thing that you can do is you can have ChatGPT help you write prompts for itself. So if you're getting stuck on if you're getting twisted up on the language stuff, and I don't really know how to ask this and what to do, ask ChatGPT what's the best prompt that you could give it to get a certain result. And let it write the prompt. Or you write a prompt and say, instead of answering this prompt, I want you to critique it and tell me how you would improve it to get a stronger answer or a more clear answer or whatever that is. Let it write it. Let it write it. All right. This one feels vastly more complex than Anglo-Saxon European languages. Impressive. I know. Well, that's that's the thing about the transformer models and the way all of this technology works. It's fucking magic. It's not. It's all mathematics. But the result, right? The Arthur C. Clarke quote, "Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic." So they train these models on the different languages, and whether it's word languages or spoken languages, and voice synthesis, right? Or music or images. And then when you put in your prompt and they marry that large language model to that other, whether it's a diffusion model or the audio stuff, and it just, I don't know, it mythically pulls the shit out of the ether mathematically. It's absolutely incredible. It's not, I think from a machine learning point of view, I don't think, I'm curious if, Pate, you're in here, is training a large not a large language model, is training a machine learning model, if we're talking about audio, synthesis stuff here, is it any harder to train it on Mandarin Chinese than it is on Italian or it is on English? I assume it's the same thing. It's more complicated for us because we have these tiny fucking filet mignons in our head. We can't take everything in at once. Oh, man. Mods and irregulars. Present turtles. Good evening, irregulars. I hope you're all well tonight. Curious about this. Hello, Kyle. Hello, Apocrypha. How are you? I just started using Dockio. Turtle Army. Throwing all my privacy concerns out the window, but I can find files. Listen, I'm being careful with my client data, but at this point, I just feel like I'm just putting it out there. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I figure, I'm not doing anything all that particularly interesting right now, like from a privacy standpoint. So, like, I feel like the value of what I'm contributing to the world of machine learning and prompt engineering is low value enough that, OpenAI ain't siphoning my ideas off, if that's even a concern, right? So, this is all, like, everything we're doing these days is temporary anyway, right? Because as these new models change, it's going to get the thing that we thought was the perfect prompt 3 weeks ago is going to be useless now, because it's just a completely different thing. I keep checking my settings here to see if I get any extra. I got nothing. I got no I got no browse with Bing. I got no image upload. Nothing. My OpenAI ChatGPT app doesn't have the voice thing in it. I got nothing, people. Nothing. Anybody here have it? Anybody here got the extra good and chewy new stuff? How would we know if we have DALL-E 3 access? I don't know, Paul Easy. I'll tell you. I got the new Copilot on startup today, and it had chosen a turtle for a background. That's fucking awesome, Silver Fox. That's great. So you got very suspect. You got that's Copilot for Windows 11, right? I'm curious what that does. Oh, cool. I've been keeping that tab open too. I was afraid to close it. Yeah, I think it's tied to your account, and I assume what they're doing is just sort of batching accounts with the new. They're probably doing 10,000 accounts at a time. Every 15 minutes they'll do another. I mean, who knows how they're rolling that shit out, but that's probably what's going on. Qualifications. AI picked me out of a lineup to study my neural pathways. Exactly. I just booted up, not sure yet what's up. Oh, okay. That's cool. But apparently, Silver Fox, you can do things like, put my system into dark mode, or don't make my system go to sleep, after 5 minutes, make it 15. It can do all the shit that you normally have to go set up in your settings. It'll just go do that. There's a new project out called Open Interpreter, which is like Code Interpreter that you can install into your system. And I've installed it in mine, but I haven't really played with it. I'm waiting for the kind of sexier commercial version of this shit. I feel like Drill Sergeant when I do that. Turtles! Present turtles! By the way, if you're wondering why people are talking about turtles, it's because they force me on a nightly basis to play a video. Oh, do I not have internet? This looks suspect. I wonder if my Edge browser has crashed. Oh, Microsoft. What just happened? I think I quit it. All right, Edge. All right, let's see. I like. This is for all of you.
Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right. You're great, zombie. And good times here.
Not really, Kyle. We're just your turtle army. That makes me feel better. You weirdos. Y'all weirdos. I love it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's see. What other questions we got here? Do irregulars truly exist if when there are no turtles there to perceive them? We don't get that philosophical here, Winston. We can't. When we start asking questions we don't want to know the answer to, it goes south really quick. We just stumble through life here at the AI Learning Lab. We don't want to be conscious of anything right now. Actually, that's kind of funny. I love how that makes you giggle every time. It does. It is the kid because it's so unexpected, but it's the reporter trying to keep it together that is the thing that just busts me up every time. Okay, good zombie. You can't teach that in acting class, man. That level of spontaneity is that's gold. All right, let's see. So your hunch is right. It's not easier. Okay, Pate. It's not easier to translate to languages that are related. Yeah. So to the machine learning models, like once these things go into vector space, it's actually quite a simple operation. Well, I don't know how simple it is technically, but it's simple conceptually. You write a prompt and it turns into, a probability within this 1,000-dimension vector space, and some point in that vector space is the highest probability thing. And whether that's a word or whether that's points to some sort of noised up image in a diffusion model. It just does its thing. It really is remarkable how this tech works. Is there an art renderer for 3D design? Well, there are some quasi ones, and there have been a bunch of white papers on taking objects like Midjourney images and turning them into 3D objects. There hasn't been like a big Midjourney type tool released yet that automatically generates 3D objects that I know of. What I would do if I were you, because it's very possible that something has been released and I don't know about it. So if anyone in here knows about it, something like that, let me know. But what I would do also is go to futurepedia.io. That's like a list of it's got to be 4,000, 4,200, 4,500 tools at this point. Those are a bunch of AI tools. Just go there. I'm sure there's a 3D section, or I'm sure there's a something section. There are likely applications that let you do natural language input that generate 3D objects in a program like Unity. That probably exists, but if you're talking about just make me an apple and it makes you an apple like Midjourney, but it's a 3D object, I don't think that's there yet, but I could be very wrong. What company do you own, sir? It is a company called Storyvine. In fact, I got the little URL right there. Right there it is, storyvine.com. Oh yeah. I bought that in the 1990s. Newsvine was big at the time, and I had an idea for the company that became Storyvine, and I thought, Storyvine, that's really good. And I bought that, and I paid it off over 2 years. So, fancy that. Meta announcements today. VR glasses and headset. Oh, VR glasses. Yeah, the Ray-Ban glasses, the headset, which I cannot believe. I heard one little clip of the Meta thing, and the dude from Meta said, we're going to have the world's cheapest spatial computing glasses. Meta used Apple's terminology. Everyone was calling it the metaverse. Meta changed their fucking name to Meta. And today, a dude from Meta called the thing that those goggles do spatial computing goggles. Oh my God, do they not have a PR firm? Does Zuckerberg need a loan for a PR firm? I don't know. Maybe they cut some deal with Apple or something like that. But that just blew my mind that they did that. That guy said that. The Meta AI assistant and the Tom Brady bot. And Meta today announced all these personality bots. Like one is the Dungeon Master and it's Snoop Dogg. I don't know that D&D players are thinking Snoop Dogg. Although it'd probably be kind of cool to play D&D with Snoop Dogg. But oh man, I don't know, man. Meta seems like they're all over the place. I keep, every time I see their product launches, I'm like, who is their target audience? It's like they don't have one. It's like, our target audience is everyone. Here's a consumer toy. Here's a this. Here's a that. Here's a piece of important technology. But yeah, big announcements today. Big announcements from Meta. This ChatGPT stuff's rolling out. The Microsoft stuff is coming. The Gemini stuff is coming soon. It's going to be a wild October, November, December, I think. Crazy, crazy, crazy. It's going to be crazy. Listen, if you're new here, if you have not played with ChatGPT, what we talk about here is generative AI, and kind of the little poster child right now of that technology is ChatGPT. They're the ones that got this ball rolling down the hill really fast. So chat.openai.com, that's the official website right there. Just go there and start playing while I'm rambling on here. Look at Harpa Chrome extension plugin for YouTube videos, transcript, and mind map. Oh, I saw that today. I saw a TikTok video on that today of someone that showed that mind map thing. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We'll see how like once these tools get multimodal, and I have a sneaking suspicion that Gemini, Google's new Bard underbelly, I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to have some pretty tight YouTube integrations. I have a feeling it was trained on YouTube, which is why it's probably really good. What do you mean paid it off over 2 years? I thought it's a monthly payment. No. Some dude owned Storyvine.com, and I agreed to pay him $7,500, and I didn't have $7,500. So I said, I forget what I paid him, like $200 a month for, I don't know, however long it took, whatever 2 years is into $7,500. So yeah, that was that. I forget the name, but 10,000%. Yes, not sure what that's about, but cool. Luna Stick, hola, what's happening? Zippy Zambo, good name, I like it. What's the best domain registry to purchase a domain name website safely, surely? I don't know. I buy my shit from GoDaddy or Network Solutions just because I'm old. Network Solutions was like this quasi-governmental thing for a long time, and then it turned into that. And then GoDaddy I hate because it was so like commercial and weird for a while, but it's kind of normalized now, so I don't really fuck around with them. I bought Storyvine.ai from whatever the fuck registry you've got to pay the $200 for the AI top level domain. I don't know. I'm not big into that game. I don't know that game at all. I just wanted that domain because I had an idea for a company. And then I went and started the company, and now it's an 11-and-a-half-year-old company. Storyvine. We've been around for a while. We are out there. All right. Oh, Zippy Zambo. That is awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Meta throws out lots of stuff hoping something will stick to the wall, then they run with it. Yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. It feels like that. You know, this channel's like chat ADD. I feel like Meta's like product ADD. It's like here's 30 things. You want one? Okay. Got Windows 11 Copilot today. It's Bing on your toolbar. Very cool. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk through some things here. So if you're new to the channel, I'm going to walk you through a list of tools that I think are worth your time to explore. And if you'd be so kind, go ahead and share the live so we can get the word out there to a bit more people. Some more people, that would be good. And, tap the screen. If you've got some irregulars in here, start playing your game. See if we can get some folks in here. So what I'd suggest, if you're brand new to this stuff, screenshot. I'm going to go through, I think it's 4 or 5 slides here, of just tools that I think are worth playing with right now. This is what I call the adult table. So these are the top 3 tools that I'm using pretty consistently now, although Bard probably not as much. I use the top 2 a lot. The top one is ChatGPT. Depending on... Oh, thank you very much. That was a cool one. I don't think I've seen that one before. Depending on if you pay for ChatGPT Plus, you may or may not have access to their new... ChatGPT V, which is V is for vision, where it can see stuff. You can upload images to it. And they also brought back browse with Bing internet connection today. So I don't have, I can't show you either of those because I don't have them yet. But this is about to get much more sophisticated really quickly. Claude is by a company called Anthropic, who's a bunch of ex-OpenAI people who started a competitor, and they just got invested in by Amazon to the tune of $4 billion. Well, 1.5 billion with a $4 billion, possible total investment. And then Bard is Google's entry into this space. It's connected to the internet, and they've got this thing coming out called Gemini, which I assume is going to sit underneath that thing. And they claim it's like 5 times better than GPT-4 and like 8 times bigger. And I don't know. They're all swinging their wee willy winkies at each other. Mine's bigger than yours. No, mine's bigger than yours. Well, mine can do multimodal. Now mine can do multimodal. There's a lot of that going on right now. So the good news is we're the beneficiaries of it, but it's a little exhausting. Okay, so that's that page. Oh, and then prompts.chat, that's just a little document. It's like a little primer document that talks to you about how these large language models work, how to talk to them. It gives you some prompts you can copy and paste. It'll give you a lot of ideas. So that's that stuff. Okay. This is what I call the kids table. So these are ones that I think are a little less useful on a day-to-day basis, but still really interesting. So Bing.com is in the doghouse. That's why it's dark gray, and you can barely see it. Because the safety guardrails on it just make it a steaming pile of poo right now. Perplexity.ai is a really interesting site and service. Labs.perplexity is free hosting of Meta's Llama 2 models. So that's worth going and playing around. Mine looks like a rocket. Exactly, Silver Fox. Exactly. Mine looks like a rocket. Well, I have a very tall rocket. I'm flying to Mars. It's exhausting. Pi.ai, that's a company called Inflection. They just raised $1.3 billion, so that's going to be a significant player. If you download the Pi app, you can put it into conversation mode and just talk to it. It's connected to the internet, and you can talk to one of these GPT models. It's designed for conversation. It's really interesting for that. And then Poe is one where you can play with multiple models in the same interface, and it's got a bot maker, and so that's it. So those are the 7 large language model things I think are worth playing with right now. This list, these 2 lists are probably going to get shaken up here in a week or 2 because just shit's changing. So that's the word stuff. Now the picture stuff. If you want to make pitches, again, this is going to change probably in a week. This list will not be the same. So if you want this list, screenshot it now because it's going to go away. This could be a collector's item. We could turn it into an NFT. You could buy an NFT and then...
You can make money with ChatGPT.
Exactly. You see? That's what this channel's really about. What this really is a multi-level a pyramid scheme. And you level up, and when you level up, your downline gets into your upline the upline is in the downline, and anyway. All right. So there's people in here going, is this really a multi-level marketing scheme? Winston knows how to pay. Winston knows how to make it rain in here. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? This is not a game, people. It's not a game. Always be prompting. I got nothing tonight. Just bear with me. Okay. Midjourney in terms of quality is the best of these image generation tools. Ideogram is not great at the image generation, but it's really good. Well, not really good. It is the first of these large language models that can do words like that, and 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 that. All these were done in Ideogram. All of the tools in AI right now are janky pieces of shit. Thank you to one of the irregulars who made me that. It's lovely. That was made in Ideogram. Leonardo.ai is a really good interface. If you want a good, powerful interface on top of Stable Diffusion, but you don't want to figure out how to install Automatic 1111 in a Google Colab notebook because you didn't get a computer science degree, and you're like, can't I just make pictures? You can at Leonardo. HeyGen.com, that's the one that I showed earlier that, I'm speaking Chinese.
真正将 Storyvine 推向新水平，希望23号键呢不要太乱，我很期待。
That's heygen.com. Actually, labs.heygen.com. And there's a video translate tool there. And then Adobe Firefly and Photoshop Generative Fill, if you've got Creative Cloud licenses, they have now generally released their generative AI tools, so they're available for commercial use. And they haven't been trained on copywritten work. So if you're in a company, if you're in a corporation, Adobe Firefly and Photoshop Generative Fill are good. OpenArt.ai/promptbook. Thank you, Apocrypha. Thank you very much. The prompt book thing there will teach you how to talk to these image models. It's designed for Stable Diffusion, but it'll work for all of them because they're all basically the same technology. I'm also one of the co-hosts of a thing called the AI Salon, which is a community of AI adventurers. And we've got a Discord channel, so if you want a place to hang out and talk to people that are into this AI stuff and you want to ask questions, last night we have a meeting every 2 weeks. Last night was our bi-weekly meeting, and we launched this thing called guilds. So they're sub-communities within the salon. So we've got a writing guild and a making art guild and a AI 101 guild. It's really cool. So go to the salon.ai. The links are there for that. What else? Oh, I've been invited by another content creator named Rhonda Phillips, who's got a community of creative professionals. She's a voice actress and a creative coach. And so I'm doing a workshop that actually starts a week from tonight called the AI Launchpad. So it's a workshop for AI for creatives. Over 3 weeks. It's 2 hours once a week on a Wednesday night starting next Wednesday. And what time is it? 7 to 9 Eastern. So that's 5 to 7. That's 5 to 7 Mountain Time where I am. So I'll still do my TikTok lives, even though I'm doing workshops starting next week on Wednesdays. And it's going to be good. We're going to do kind of an intro to AI is the first workshop. Applying generative AI to your business is the second workshop. And then advanced AI, like, voice synthesis and animation and video and things like that is going to be the third workshop. So it should be a lot of fun. So the information's there at rondasvoice.com/events. And then what else? I think that's about it. That's good. That's a good place to start. If you have questions about AI, pop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. We've got some mods in here. We call them the irregulars. They just show up here night after night and harass me. They don't harass me. They are incredibly supportive and awesome. And so thank you all, whoever's modding tonight. Thank you for doing that. Sorry, had an ADD moment. Had to throw some garbage out. I'm back. Welcome to Chat ADD. I like taters. Taters tasty. They call it a sling blade. That's Allie. That's Allie right there. Allie, the AI Learning Lab. She's so cute. All right, we'll put her right there. Ion China, good evening. Bigfoot Electro, that's hilarious. Amway AI. Exactly. This is the multi-level. Every time you do a prompt, every time someone in your downline does a prompt, you get 1/10 of a penny. Now, if you just had them make 10 million prompts, you'd have $1 million. Oh, no, you wouldn't. You'd have 100,000. I don't know. I'm not good at math, but ChatGPT could tell you that. All right. Now, I just sent out to my friends and said, not a money thing. That's really funny. And then they come in it's one of my joys in life is when I do one of my stupid characters, just knowing that someone is sort of flicking through TikTok and just seeing like, how do you work this thing, Marge? Is this TikTok on? Oh man. All right. Let's see. It's so exciting to see the changes happening so fast, pretty much daily. Yeah, it's, I kind of feel like kind of from mid-July to August, things kind of stabilized. Like it wasn't like this daily barrage. I feel like, January through March were just fucking insane, where it was just daily announcements of just crazy, crazy stuff. And then it lulled for a little bit. And then May and June got big again. And then kind of July and August, it got a little normal. And boy, man, what's coming? Like September was decently quiet, but we started hearing some rumblings of what was going on. And yeah, the thing for me about what's going on with all these changes is just, I feel like all of us, like myself included, like I kind of had my head around, okay, so given what these things are, I kind of get what they are, and I kind of get where their limitations are, and I kind of get how I can use them in my business. And now I'm like, okay, I no longer know where the limitations are. I no longer know where the boundaries are. When Gemini comes out from Google, if indeed it's even as good as ChatGPT 4, much less better than ChatGPT 4, if it's as good as, well, where's it as good as? Is it better at coding? Is it better at language? Is it better at, doing basic math? Does it hallucinate less? Does it hallucinate more? Is it tightly integrated with YouTube, which could completely transform the kind of applications you could create? So I just feel like, I've mentioned before that I feel like the stage of the industry we're at right now is this primordial soup, right? And it's like that thick sort of bloop, and I think we're just like right now we're just about to have like one of the bubbles sort of come up and go bloop and just shoot shit everywhere and just kind of upset what seemed like equilibrium for a moment there. So yeah, it's just crazy. So it's one of the other things that I talk about a lot on this channel is, if what you're looking for right now is what's the best course I should take, or what's the best, like who's the expert, who's the this, there are no experts right now. Like even the workshop that I'm going to teach starting in a week, like I'm thinking long and hard about what I actually teach there, because if I teach anything too tactical, it's going to be useless in 6 months, right? But if it's too esoteric and just like, be zen with your exploration of AI, then that's completely useless. So I need to sort of, figure out how to walk that thread. But I would say be very, very skeptical of anyone right now that claims to be an expert at this stuff. No one is an expert at this. And then on the flip side of that coin, if you're feeling like, oh, I'm so far behind, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm not technical, doesn't matter. You're not behind. We're all behind, right? These tools are coming at us. They're coming at us hard. What they make possible, we have no idea what 5 years out looks like, much less, even a year out. So you're not behind. And the whole purpose of this channel is just to say, welcome. Welcome to the madness. It was funny. I got a direct message from someone today that said, I stumbled on your channel and, I was really resistant to AI. She was in this sort of demonization place of like, AI is evil, AI is bad. And she said she's slowly coming around to, oh, maybe this is just a tool and I need to start experimenting with it. And, this isn't so black and white. It's not black and white. These things are profoundly powerful and very flawed. There's things that they do really horribly just bad. They're just not good. And then there's other things that they do that are face-meltingly powerful. The thing about them is that as flawed as they are right now, how they are today is as bad as they're ever going to be. They only get better from here. So start understanding what they are and how they work. And it will serve you. I'm telling you. I feel like it's the next 18 months, anyone, we've had a couple of people in here, more than one person that have come in and like, I'm in retirement, but think I'm coming out now. Like, I'm into this. Let's do something. Like, there's a lot of people right now rediscovering a passion for something because we're at the birth of a thing that I think we all instinctively know is going to fundamentally transform how we do business, the definition of work, the definition of productivity. It's going to completely upset the apple cart in where the value is in the value chain. And so we're all just trying to figure it out. It's tremendously exciting. It's tremendously terrifying. Like, it's funny, you talk to some people and they're just like absolutely scared or they're absolutely pissed off. And then you talk to other people and they're absolutely excited and they're all like, oh, far out, it's going to... I tend to lean more toward that side, but where I find myself is I'm both, right? Like, it's like, this is tremendously exciting and holy shit, is that scary? What does it mean if the advertising industry loses the time and materials model that their entire industry is founded on? What does that mean? I don't know. Does it mean the big holding companies right now flail if they don't adopt fixed pricing? Maybe. How long can they hold on to that model of here's 50 copywriters sitting in a pen working on your social media stuff? We're going to charge you, $120. Ah, dinosaur. That's very good. That's very, very good. Exactly. How many Kodak moments are happening right now? They're happening in universities. They're happening in companies. You know the Kodak moment, right? They fucking invented the digital camera. And the engineers came in and said, here's a digital camera, sirs. Bah humbug. Pixels. We're in the silver halide business. 10 years later, 20 years later, they're out of business. How many moments are going to happen, this year, next year, the following year, where arrogance and hubris of, well, we're us. This won't affect us. And then some punky little 20-somethings or 30-somethings or a pile of Gen Xers are going to get into a room together and they're going to, what if we started a 10-person company just to fuck with the ad industry? You have a bunch of ex-ad execs that know how to market, know how to fuck with the ad. They know where all the soft spots are on the armadillo. I mean, sounds kind of fun to me. And then how many of those 10-person shops are going to turn into 100-person shops and then 500-person shops? And that 500-person shop can do the work at the same or better quality than a 50,000-person holding company. Everything is relevant that you're doing. I'm going through the YouTube videos. Oh, awesome, Obi-Wan. Yeah, so, I forgot to say that. So, I'm making archives of these lives because it's funny, these are, they're at least preserving moments in history, right? Like everything before tonight, ChatGPT was just text, and everything from kind of tonight forward, ChatGPT ain't just text anymore. Like, it's going to be interesting to be able to go back and say, what were we talking about when ChatGPT was just text? Oh yeah, we were talking about prompt engineering. That seemed like a big deal. We don't even think about prompting anymore. Now the fairies just go off and do our work for us, right? Madcap, thank you, Kyle, for doing this. I'm sure you help much more than you know by your honesty. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I try. Listen, one of my pet peeves in life and in business is the gratuitous use of technology. I hate it. I think this crowd,
You can make money with ChatGPT.
I just want to smash my phone every time I hear that and see that. This is not black and white right now. It's not AI's great or it's not AI's evil. And it's not generative AI's perfect, and it's not these things are it's not any of that. It's just that if you pay attention to what the tools are doing and how they're doing it, in my lifetime, from my understanding of computers, I wrote my first line of BASIC in 7th grade in 1977. And so I kind of knew about computers before that, and then I got into them then. And everything that I know about computers requires human beings to think logically about how to get the machines to do what they want. And they have to think of the logic, and they have to write the logic, and they have to branch it, and they have to do these hierarchies. And this generative AI stuff is not that. It's some of how it's trained is a lot of that, but the fact that we can use our natural language, our native languages, English in my case, as a programming language just changes everything. It changes fucking everything. Right? Because right now it doesn't seem like maybe sort of how profound it is that you can say, write me a poem or write me a Python application or write me a this or write me a that. It doesn't seem that profound because ChatGPT is kind of like this little hermetically sealed tool off to the side, right? We're still doing our business, and we still think about writing papers and writing emails and thinking about problem solving in our business. Oh, and then maybe I'll go over here and play with ChatGPT, right? It's this thing off to the side. As these things get more integrated into what we do, it will increasingly be that you just ask for what you want and the machines will go do it for you and sort of bring you back the results. And then you just go, no, bad robot, flick. Or brilliant robot, great. What does that mean? It's crazy. ASCII art. Yeah, Sherry Banks. My first computer was a Trash 80. Hang on, look, I've got do I have it here? Is it that? No, hang on. Let me get the presentation up. So this is the beginning of a one of these 2 weeks from now. This is my first day of math class in 1977. I walked into my classroom and it kind of looked like this. This is a mid-journey representation of a 1970s classroom with a computer on every desk. And on the desks were Trash 80s. That model right there with the dual floppy drives and the orange on button and the big giant clackety keys. And the first thing that we learned was aiLL print, which you could print a line of text to screen. And my buddy Scott Buchard and we made an animation of ASCII art of a rocket taking off back to rockets, right? Mine looks like a rocket. We made an animation of an ASCII rocket. It was like a Saturn V, scrolling up on the screen, and then the plumes of fire came out at the bottom. We were so proud of that. And it was one command. We learned one command, and we were making cool animations with it. And this was, the thing that I was acutely aware of when I was in 7th grade was that that machine, as I learned what that machine did, what hit me was, oh shit, this is like the printing press. And I'm just too young to have been in on the ground floor of that, because, Steve Jobs and Wozniak were on the cover of, Newsweek and Time magazine, and Bill Gates and the team at Microsoft was doing their thing. And I was in 7th grade, and I was like, "Oh man, I just missed it. Like I could have been somebody. I could have been a player." And it broke my heart. And then I didn't think I'd see another one of those in my lifetime, because I knew that these things don't come along very often, right? The printing press was whatever it was, 500 years before, or more than that. And it made me really sad. And then in 1994, I stumbled on this thing called the World Wide Web, and I published an online magazine in my apartment in Brooklyn. And 3 weeks later, there was a full-page article written about it in Paris, in Liberation, the Parisian news daily. And I had an epiphany of, holy shit, the world just changed. And holy shit, the World Wide Web is like this PC moment. And so I went all in on the World Wide Web stuff, and I co-founded agency.com, and it was a crazy, crazy time. And I didn't think I'd see it again in my lifetime. And then I played with ChatGPT, and I was like, holy shit, here it is again. There's like 3 of these in my lifetime. Like if you are not acutely aware how lucky you are to be able to play with this stuff in this moment, it's an amazingly rare thing. And this one in particular, this is going to make the invention of the personal computer and the World Wide Web and the iPhone, all of them seem quaint, right? Because this is it's the way this stuff is using the computer is just a fundamentally different thing. So it's crazy. So anyway, listen. It's just, there are not that many of us in here tonight. Don't tell anyone I get this cuckoo with this stuff. He seems very obsessed with it. Did you notice that? I think he's a little touched. Do you think so too? Do you think so? I don't think it's healthy. I think he thinks this is religion. Do you think he thinks it's God? I don't know. He might. I'm sharing some deep gems. Well, some deep something. Lucky discs. I had a TRS-80 with cassette. Oh, wow. Yeah, that was good. You remember these? SideQuest drives? Huh? Oh, yeah. Urban Desires. That was my online magazine. I think this is a 40 megabyter. It's a classic. Ours were IBM 5150s. Well, you know what's funny, Clint? So I had TRS-80s in 7th grade. And then my buddy Scott Buchart, his dad was in real estate, so he had a lot of money. So he had an Apple II, and then he had a Lisa. He bought his dad a Lisa for the real estate business. It was a $10,000 computer that was like a really giant, shitty Macintosh. So he had a Lisa, and then when the first Mac came out, he and I were playing on the Mac, and we had modems, and we were calling up, it was cool. You could call up computer systems that didn't have any security on them. You could just download lists of phone numbers. So I remember my only actual hacking experience. We got one of those lists, and basically you would get one of those lists, and then you would just have the computer just randomly call phone numbers until it hit a phone number where it logged into a computer. And so we did that, and we logged into the control system of a mall in North Carolina. and we, dug through the menu systems, and we turned the heat up to 99, and we reversed the escalators. we reversed the direction of the escalators. So, those were good times. All right. I tell ChatGPT to make my email casual professional. and I've been 100% satisfied with the outcome. Yeah, it's great at that stuff. It's also good if you haven't tried it, Silver Fox. If you've got an email that you've written or anything that you've written that you're really happy with, paste it in there as an example and just say, follow the tone and structure of that other thing I wrote. It's really good at that as well. We still use Fortran 77 in the HPC world. Yeah. I know. Well, and that's another place where the large language models, because you've got all these computer languages that are fading, where you don't have expertise for people that can do Fortran and COBOL and things like that in these old mainframe systems that are still out there. I think the ability to refactor code or just to even understand and document code that may be of a previous era could be really, really powerful. I hope my persistence comes off as nothing short of professional. Absolutely. Schedule a call. Yeah, drop me a line. Happy to do it. Happy to chat. Compact portable, the size of a sewing machine. I don't think I owned... Did I own the Mac? They called it the Luggable. I don't think I owned one, but I think someplace I worked had one, so I carried one around a couple of times. Those fuckers were heavy. They were really heavy. And the screens were really dim. They weren't backlit. I think they were, or if they were backlit, it was like with like a Bic lighter. It was pretty bad. We had apples in 5th grade. Very cool. Yeah, the Apple II was they did really good stuff in education. I guess Apple's still doing good stuff in education, but they kind of owned that market for a good while. LAN parties. Oh yeah. All right, that's what I do. The email queen. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Toe Dance. Where can I find better prompts to get my mother-in-law to act more like a human? Actually, what you could probably do is you could say, "Here's the issues I'm having with my mother-in-law. Give me some strategies to win her over, or be able to tolerate her." That's really funny. Dr. J, it passed the Kyle test, and he's a CGO. So that's a funny thing. So one of my titles right now is I'm a Chief Generative Officer, which sounds very fucking impressive, doesn't it? I like it. It's a title that makes me happy. It's for an organization called Content Evolution, which is sort of a loose federation of marketing companies that are just kind of there to co-market with one another. But I built something for Content Evolution. If you go to contentevolution.net, on the homepage of contentevolution.net is this thing called the challenge engine. So you give it a business challenge, and then it'll generate a series of strategic questions that you should be asking yourself to solve that problem. And so, along with some other folks in Content Evolution, we built that tool. And so when we delivered that tool, the guy that runs Content Evolution goes, "I'm going to promote you to Chief Generative Officer." I'm like, I'm in. So I think I'm the first Chief Generative Officer on the planet. You didn't think I had qualifications. CGO, baby. Amateurs. You think I'm just an ex-actor? I am. Cheers. All right. Let's see. Let's get some more questions going here. Tandy 1000HX, love it. The Osborne one, I remember that thing. Swear it was a sewing machine case. It probably was. You know what my lust machine, when I was in 7th or 8th grade, I wanted the Timex Sinclair. I think it was 1000CX. It was a computer that was about this big, and it had a membrane keyboard on it. It was, here, I can probably go find one. We have the internet. Timex Sinclair 1000. Yeah, man. And it was like $129. And it was like, that was way out of my fucking price range. Look at that bad boy. Look at how cool that thing was. Wait. See, it it had all these shapes on the key. So you had the letters, but you had all these shapes that you could do ASCII art with. And then it had all this other shit, like all this programming shit. And it was all just in this tiny little box. Come on. That was the fucking future, man. Never got one. I should buy one now. Except with my ADD, I'll probably spend like 3 months like just hyper focusing on it and just waste my life away. So it's good I don't have one. Timex Sinclair from the drugstore, 4K external RAM module. Exactly, Joxer. This is the link you're looking for. What is it? Oh, yeah. Hang on.
And when you're ready to travel, Macintosh can easily go along. The durable carrying case is strong and waterproof. Your Macintosh, keyboard, mouse, manuals, and software. Even fully loaded, the carrying case is light enough to go anywhere you go.
Wait, dang it. Hold. Come on. Oh, come on. It ain't working now. Is it?
And when you're ready to travel, Macintosh can easily go along. The durable carrying case is strong and waterproof. Your Macintosh, keyboard, mouse, manuals, and software all fit neatly inside.
It's like a cooler.
Even fully loaded, the carrying case is light enough to go anywhere you go.
Oh, man. That's awesome. Oh. Clint had the Timex Sinclair. Okay, I hate you, Clint. I'm jealous of you in retrospect. Did you ever see the Microsoft Excel elevator commercial? No, I didn't. Optional audio cassette interface. Oh man, you were fucking loaded, man. You had all the toys. Could fit that on a plane with you. For AI assisted encoding like Copilot and others, how well do they protect company code and IP? So Joachim, I think it's Joachim or Joachim, Joachim or Joachim, Joachim. How to offend your audience in one easy step with Kyle Shannon. So listen, Joachim. With these tools right now, unless they explicitly say it in writing, like a legal document, assume that all of these things have no privacy and security. If you've got to send your data to Bing or to OpenAI or to Google Bard or wherever, just assume that it's not secure. ChatGPT has a new thing called ChatGPT Enterprise, where they're starting with people that can spend 10 or 15 grand a month, and then it'll come down to us plebes at some point. Or if you do a standalone instance on Microsoft Azure or something on AWS, where you've got a hermetically sealed environment where you're running these large language models, in some sort of thing. Assume that the sort of consumer versions of these things are not secure. And so does it mean you can't use them? No, it doesn't. But what it might mean is you go through and depersonalize a document. So maybe you've got a legal document, and instead of the person's name, you put in Mickey Mouse, right? and you take out real addresses, and then you go process the document like that. So that's anything that I'm doing that involves client data. I'm depersonalizing it if I'm dealing with anything that is not in a standalone hermetically sealed thing. So I would just assume it's not safe. Assume it's not secure, because otherwise you'll end up like that group out of Japan and Samsung where they put a bunch of stuff up on ChatGPT and it got snacked up by the community who hackers gonna hack. And so yeah, so I am the oldest before color TV. There was a show to put plastic over the screen and color over black and white. Yeah, I remember that. It was a Magnavox. My stepdad got that system, the Magnavox Odyssey. And we had like a 27-inch, like one of those big console TVs. It was like a 27-inch TV, which was giant at the time because it was a tube, right? And it had all the electric, like it would literally shock you if you walked up to it because it was just a giant like Tesla coil, just basically ready to electrocute you at any moment. And then the Magnavox Odyssey video game for like the duck shooting game. You'd put the big piece of plastic, it would static electricity to this Tesla coil TV, and then the sky would be blue, and the water would be, the grass would be green on the bottom. It's fucking awful. And like the controllers would be like clack, clack, clack. Oh my God. Remember, so there's enough Gen Xers in here. One of my great disillusionment moments. There's those moments where you grow up, right? So this was in the kind of late 70s, early 80s. You had arcades, like physical arcades where you'd go to a building with machines in it and you'd put quarters in it and you'd play video games. And then the Atari 2600 came out. And they're like, oh, it's so exciting, and you can play video games at home, and it's the arcade experience at home. And then they made the boxes, the artwork on the boxes looked like the fucking arcade games. And then you get the game home, and it was like 6 blocks bouncing around screen. And you're like, this isn't an arcade game. And it was just like, I kept getting suckered into buying Atari 2600 games because someone would come out with clever box art and I'd go, maybe this one's different. And I'd look at the back and I'm like, yeah, this one's going to be better. And I'd go play it and I'm like, no, it's still just shitty arcade games. Oh, man. My first Mac came with 1 megabyte of RAM. I upgraded to 2 megabytes for $5,000. So my first Mac, it was a 512KE. And I think it was my buddy Scott Buchart, the guy that he and I did computer stuff as a kid. He had a 5 megabyte hard drive, and it was actually, it's funny. I've got a box right here that my light's on. It was a 5 megabyte hard drive. This was about the size of it, and it was this steel enclosure, right? And it was a multi-platter thing. It was a 5 megabyte hard drive. I think he sold it to me for $200. I think he paid like $1,500 for it, and I think he upgraded to like a 50 megabyte hard drive. And so I had a Mac 512KE with an external hard drive. I was like, baller, man. Like, yeah, I got the system. Then I upgraded to an SE30 with the color monitor. I don't fuck around. Oh, man, it's crazy. And for AI assistant coding, how well do they protect? Yep, we talked about that. Microsoft can close your account and your documents are lost. Wait, what? What is that in reference to? Oh, if they close your GitHub, if you're talking about GitHub Copilot, yeah, I assume so. If you do something that violates their terms of service and they shut it down, yeah. So all these cloud services are like that, right? If they go down, like what was it? The Flickr? Was it Flickr? The photo one that went out of business, and everyone's fucking photo libraries were all just shit to bed. You could easily get into trouble with your company if you upload any code. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just with all this stuff, assume it's dangerous until it's not. Especially if you work for a big company, wait for your IT department to either create a sandbox for you or do work tangential to what you do officially on a computer that's not a work computer, just so you can learn this shit. If you don't have, official places to play. I did a workshop for a big energy company not an energy company, battery company, a couple of months ago, and it was for their marketing group. And the IT department basically installed, a special secure version of ChatGPT and Bing, and like the Microsoft version of ChatGPT, just for the marketing department to do this workshop. But they had access to it. It was blessed by IT and things like that. So if you've got that, cool. But just assume it's a mess. Let's see. That's interesting. I asked about cleaning up my CRM a few nights back using GPT. Oh yeah, Pauly Z. Hang on. To organize my CSV files. So, come on. Oh wait, could someone repin that? Because I couldn't read the second half of the thing because of TikTok's wonderful interface. They've got icons that are literally like 3 pixels wide, and like you have to wait. There it is. Organize my CSV. So I probably shouldn't do this. Oh. I don't know enough about how Code Interpreter works. It's now called Advanced Data Analytics, but I'm pretty sure that when you fire up Code Interpreter in ChatGPT, it's creating a container. So it's basically creating a little hermetically sealed operating environment where it's running all that Python code. So I don't know that any of that's getting sent back out, but I don't know. Pate might know that more than I do. Yeah, I don't know. If it's CRM data, I don't know. That's a here's the deal, Pauly Z. I would go to, how big's your company? What's your tolerance for risk? What's their tolerance for risk? If it's a small organization and it's your company and you're like, well, if someone gets this information, like, is that going to be catastrophic, or is it going to be like, well, it would suck, but it's actually kind of fine? Then, it's a call you got to make. But I would research how Code Interpreter actually works, because my understanding of it is it's running inside a container in sort of a temporary little run state that's doing all of that processing. So I don't think it's sending a bunch of stuff out, but I could be very wrong. So I don't listen to me on that. Do some research on that, and then you need to figure out where your risk tolerance is. So yeah. All right. 20 megabyte hard drive, 4 megabyte RAM, no modem. Yeah. They have new terms of service valid from November. Who do? OpenAI does? Mantrid? Vintage Visionary. Good. I love that name. It's 10 out of 10 name. I bought an early 512, added a Monster Mac conversion. Yep, nice. That's solid. Byte Magazine just for the free game code each month. Yep, I remember that. Oh, it's Joachim. Okay, cool. But I'm not offended. I'm the same age as you, Gen Z. Cool. Joachim, cool. It is. So I said Joachim. It's Joachim. Cool. That's a cool name. But yeah, depending on where you're from, could easily be Joaquin, but Joachim, that's cool. Microsoft can punish you for the content of your documents. Oh, that's interesting. I suppose anyone can, right? I mean, TikTok does. They boot me off this thing. I've been booted off this thing 3 times. because I said some code word. If there's certain code words where you're just like, I'm talking merrily along and it's like, zap, you're gone for a week. Oh, Gen X, I mean. Yeah, I figured that. All right, let's see. If you write something they do not like, grow up when? Exactly, Joker. My pal owns a ginormous arcade with all the old games. It's so rad. Oh, that's so cool, Caverna. Yeah, those old arcade games are just the best. I mean, they just had such good playability, and like as much as I respect the new 3D environments and all that exciting stuff, there's something about just like the speed and quality of like Centipede, and then Millipede, and missile defense and asteroids. Like asteroids, the gameplay of asteroids was so pure, and it was like you just became one with that machine. Those were cool days. And it was like, and it was it. That's it. It's funny why arcades died is because the home consoles got as good as them. Right? You didn't need in my day. In my day, you had to go to the arcade to have a good video game experience. The one at home was like this sad, depressing wonka, wonka, wonka bad thing. And then you go to the arcade and it was like, brrr. Amazing. I remember typing in games in BASIC from magazines into my Atari 400. That's awesome. That's interesting. I asked about. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Missile Command and Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair was one of the most frustrating games in the history of video gaming, because all the other video games had, zero latency or like very little latency. And Dragon's Lair, you had to hit the moves right, but there was like that half-second delay. So you'd sort of like go up, left, right, up. And then it would go, and then and then it would play whatever part of the laser disc it played. I mean, it was really cool to look at, but the gameplay on it was so fucking frustrating because of that delay. What's funny? The all of the talking chatbots right now, the ones that are like Pi and whatever the ChatGPT one's going to be, that half-second delay in them is almost that identical weird delay that Dragon's Lair had. And like that'll go away. Like that latency is going to go away probably pretty quick, but but it's weird right now. It's funny. I'll tell you what. Here's where we are. It's funny we're talking about all this video game shit. We are in, let's see, not that. This is kind of the Apple II, PC Junior kind of, stage. Like we're at such an early stage of this. Like this isn't even the Macintosh yet. Like this is like the Apple II, and maybe the multimodal version that can see and generate images with DALL-E 3 is going to be like the Macintosh, right? But maybe not. Like maybe it's like it goes from like the Apple II to, I don't know. It's still kind of command liney and weird right now. And that's the stage we're at with this stuff. So if we, you think back on how far computers have come since those really nostalgic early days of, your computer had to call another computer. I remember when my buddy Scott had a 300 baud modem, you could actually, sort of watch it, type shit across the screen. And then we got a 1200 baud modem, and it was like you couldn't keep up with it. And then when you got, 56K, it was just like, and it's like that's kind of the stage we are with these things right now. They're kind of like 300 baud modem text interfaces. And like think about, a PS5 today versus that shit. Well, what's going to be the PS5 version of that? Fuck. I mean, the PS5 version of that is going to be make me a movie that's exactly what I want it to be. Make me a video game. Make me an immersive anti-anxiety environment that I can enter right now. I've got 12 minutes to get my amygdala unhijacked. Go. It's like being in the DOS days of AI. It is. We're in DOS. So look, experience, but let's go look at something. The best image generation tool right now is Midjourney. You have to make images in this thing called Discord, which has got like all these like these are like bulletin board systems, and then within each of your little bulletin board systems, you have your stupid little text channels, and all these little text channels have their little talky talk, and people talk about their crap, and then in here you have a Midjourney channel, and what do you do to make an image? /imagine, right? /imagine. So you have to know the command line to make an image, and then prompt. What do you say here? I don't know. I'm gonna say, let's see, a photo of, let's see, a prehistoric hedgehog on a plateau. Ansel Adams, and then I'm gonna do --AR. Check this shit out. --AR 16:9. What's that stand for? Aspect ratio 16:9. What's that? That's the size of a QuickTime movie. How do I know that? Because I'm a geek. That, like, the fact that we're having to make fucking images with command line interfaces, we are absolutely in the DOS era of AI right now. This is just fucking stupid. What's ye old AI learning lab term? Janky pieces of shit. Now, don't get me wrong, they're still remarkable. We're going to look back fondly on these days and like, remember when you had to type in command lines to make a picture? But there you go. It did it, and they're fun. They're good. Look at that one. I like that one. Let's do the one in the little frame. We'll upscale him. Look at that. Boom! With a little command line, we made magic. This is like the Commodore 64 being able to do video. Was it the Commodore 64? Yeah. Wait, what was it? The Amiga? What was the big video machine that was the video machine forever? Anyway. Yeah, this is how early we are. Someone's coming in here, they're like, we're so early that hedgehogs ruled the earth? No! Edlin prompts, exactly. Oh, man. Crazy. That's a good one. AI Learning Lab. We're learning tonight. Actually, we're just kind of reminiscing tonight. I like it. It started talking nonsense about the multiplicative identity property. Ooh. Disk copy A greater than B. Oh, God. I asked it what the heck it was thinking about, and it started apologizing or talking about holodeck. Anyone? I got one in my garage 5 years from now. Yeah. That's what's coming. Have you seen, I mean, I've showed this on the channel before, but have you seen, what the fuck's it called? Blockade Labs. This is stupid. And this is, the actual technology here is relatively simple, but what it's doing is super cool. So if you go to, what is it? Something.blockadelabs.com. Skybox. .blockadelabs.com. So if you go to skybox.blockadelabs.com, beta 072, this time we're introducing more control. So they got an API. All right, whatever. So this is a cool 3D world, right? Neat. You can look up in the sky, you can look down in the valley. Swell. But I can also, it says dream up your world. So I can go, space station deep in the cosmos with an exploding planet in the distance and fighters flying through the skies, shooting at one another. And then let's see what style. We'll go I guess we'll go techno noir cyberpunk. Some of the better models. Oh, I've run out of generations? Oh, this used to be free. Wait, let me log in. Maybe I get some credits if I log in. Come on. Come on. Oh. I am so done with 17-factor authentication. Dun, 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 dun. Why does he sing like that? I don't know, Martha. I'm pretty sure he's been drinking. It looks like coffee. Oh, that's what he says it is. I'm pretty sure that's not coffee. Boom, boom, confirm. Do I have any available? Let's see. What did I say? Space station, deep in the cosmos, exploding nebula in the distance. Is it going? I think it's going. Yay! So there's their little default world. But then, boom! There's a little space world that we just invented. And it's sort of 3D. This is actually not 3D. This is just a flat image that they're generating in a way that it can be warped onto a sphere. But there are people now that are taking these 3D, or these, mapped spheres into Unreal Engine 5, and they're adding objects into the thing and making them so you can interact with them. So right now, these are kind of still janky pieces of shit where this isn't a real 3D world, but we are within spitting distance of being able to describe a 3D world. It'll generate it. Describe the kind of gameplay that you want. It'll generate that. Describe the kind of objects, the kind of weapons, the kind of vehicles, the kind of players, the kind of network ability. Is it just your friends? Is it strangers? The kind of scoring system. You just describe it. And you'll be playing this hyper-personalized game that you want to play. And you can do that solo or you can do that with your friends, right? And this is going to be everything. This is going to be movies. This is going to be music. Imagine a Spotify that instead of just being a playlist of songs that you like that other people wrote, it's a playlist of those songs mixed with original songs written for you based on your emotion in the moment. Okay. 3 years from now, that's going to be Spotify. or whatever, whatever's the new Spotify, right? Because Spotify will be like, it's all about real music and real musicians, and then some punks will come up with one where it's like, hey, how about if you had something that just composed music for you on the fly in real time based on the emotional, senses that we get from your iris, from your smart glasses. And then it's just, every day is just an endorphin injection. We're all fucking, hooked up. So Ready Player One. What we should do here one night, since we're on here 2.5 hours anyway, we should just start watching, Ready Player One and Her. Start watching movies together. See if we can get the copyright police to hunt us down. Janky piece of shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Very funny. I might upgrade to ChatGPT 4, actually pay for it. I need to step up my game. Listen, I think it's probably worth it, Becky, just because, if you want to start playing with this stuff, the fact that it's now multimodal, the fact that you could just show it, take a picture of some location somewhere, or take a picture of, I just have no idea how we're going to use it. I mean, I think a lot of what this channel is going to be in the next month or so is just kind of discovering in real time together, what is this stuff? How do we play with it? Where's the value here? Because I don't know. Our grandkids will laugh. Oh, yes! That was so cool. Who was? I didn't see who sent that. I got mesmerized by the blue whale jumping through the screen. That was very cool. Thank you, whoever that was. That was really awesome. I appreciate that. Wow. It had sound effects and everything. It totally caught me off guard. It was like the other night. If you weren't in here, like a week ago, one of the people who's a regular in here decided to do some TikTok view purchasing on our behalf. So we're cruising along tonight. We were at 50 people for half an hour, and then all of a sudden I look up and we're at 4,000. I was like, wait, what? And then it went all the way up. The highest we hit was 17,700. And it was just a bunch of people coming in that I think it was just an engagement farm. So the engagement was really low, but there was 10,000 plus people in here for an hour and a half. It totally freaked me out. So the whale didn't freak me out that much, but it was pretty cool. All right. Awesome. Met Gates and Allen at a Sting concert in the early 80s. My heroes at the time. Yeah. I met Guy Kawasaki fairly early in his tenure at Apple as the lead evangelist for Apple. Guy Kawasaki was a hero of mine. Steve Jobs was a hero of mine. Yeah, amazing. I mean, just those early days of all that stuff was just, you listen to was it Noah Bushnell who started Atari, and you listen to Wozniak, and you listen to just all those early guys, what it was like. It's a very small community. And when we were doing the web stuff in New York City in the mid 90s, it was a relatively small community, right? It was a community of, I don't know, 300 to 500 people that really had their fingers on the pulse of what was going on. And, it quickly grew, but it was a really amazing time because nobody knew this shit was coming. And we were all like, holy shit, if people knew what was coming, they'd be acting different. It's just like what we're doing here. If people only knew. Pay attention, people. Pay attention. Reported today for bullying an AI video post, not the poster. The bot the post was about. Reported today for bullying an AI video post. That's really funny. Quite sure the bot isn't going to come alive and go read comments. Oh, man. How did you learn Midjourney? So you have to find it inside Discord. Yeah, so listen. They call me Tater Tot. Listen, Tater Tot. Here's the deal, Tater Tot. Okay, for one thing, can we talk about Tater Tot's name? They call me Tater Tot. She uses camel case, so you can read the words. She separates them with a period, and her name is, they call me Tater Tot. It's a 10.5 out of 10. It's my first north of 10 rating on a name. It's the best name in the history of names in this channel. I love it. I'll never forget it. They call me Tater Tot. Here's the deal. You don't have to learn Midjourney because DALL-E 3 is coming out, and I think DALL-E 3 is a Midjourney killer, and it's going to live inside ChatGPT 4, and it's going to be included in your $20, I assume. And it's probably going to be out in the next 2 weeks. So, yes, you could go learn Midjourney. And listen, quite frankly, Midjourney is probably still going to be a significant player for some amount of time. But DALL-E 3 can do text. DALL-E 3 can do incredibly coherent prompt-to-image matching. So like if you put a bunch of details in your prompt, they actually all show up in the image. That's one of the things that Midjourney struggles with. Like if you put in a bunny and a turtle in a pond setting with a beaver, what you end up with very often is like a bunny turtle where they've melded into the same kind of animal, and there's like a giant beaver like smacking him with his tail. Like the sort of predictability of Midjourney is challenging at best, but the quality is really good. But I would say just wait for 2 weeks for DALL-E 3 and start playing with it, because I think it's going to be better. So, the other thing about Midjourney, there's a couple of things about it. The CEO is a bit of an NFT bro. He's a bit of a douche, and Midjourney is very much about his whims, from what I can gather. Like the customer base wants these things. And he's like, I don't like those things, and he's just like a flippant, sort of douchey little CEO. And I don't think he's taking what he's got on his hands all that seriously. That said, they've got like $200 million in revenue. so he's doing something right. Like, I don't fault the guy. He's got the best tool out there right now. But I think just wait for DALL-E 3, and it's going to be a much more professional, tight tool. And the way they've coded it, ChatGPT-4 will write the prompts for you. So you can just say to ChatGPT-4, help me write a prompt to make this kind of image really good. It will write its own prompt and then generate the image. So I think it's going to be... So, but if you want to learn Midjourney, I'm happy to do a little walkthrough about how you get there. It's a pain in the ass, but it's fine. It's the only reason I know how to use Discord is I did like a year and a half sort of deep diving into blockchain and NFT land with all the crypto bros. So I got decent at Discord then. So anyway, all right. How to keep AI from breaking into everything: social media, bank accounts, power grids, generic. I don't know. I mean, this is one of the risks, right? So if you want trouble sleeping tonight, go look at a site called Worm GPT. It's based, I assume it's based on one of the llama models from Meta, is my guess, but it could be something else. But it's it's based on open source large language models. It is designed for hackers for $100 a month to be an autonomous agent that just goes and does evil shit. That's out there. Why am I laughing? I don't know, because I'm nervous. There are going to be lots of tools like that. There's going to be lots of bad actors. The good news is the white hat hackers, the good guys, also have access to these tools. So if someone does something pretty egregious, the good guys are going to have access to tools that can either stop it, prevent it, fix it, or go find the bad guys and do evil shit to them too. So I don't know. I think this is one of the reasons. It seems to me that the primitive nature, we're talking about these tools being in DOS mode, right? They're kind of in this weird primitive state. And as powerful as GPT-4 is, it's not AGI. It's not doing reasoning. It's not doing autonomous actions, right? It's not, performing things on our behalf. There are things like LangChain and Baby AGI and Auto GPT that are autonomous agents, but they're also janky and fucked up. They just don't work most of the time. It's the next round of these things. It's the GPT-5s and if Gemini isn't, so if let's say GPT 3 and 3.5 are down here, 4 is here. Gemini, this new Google thing, is either going to be at GPT-4, maybe it's going to be up here. When we get to kind of GPT-5, when we get to this level, this sort of next round, or GPT-6, that's when these tools start getting really, really powerful. And if you want to feel a little bit better, a group of the big companies that have access to all these GPTUs to do what's called the frontier models, they put together this consortium called the Frontier Model. I forget what they're called. It's not the consortium. What is it? AI Frontier. Forum. The Frontier Model Forum. So you can go read on OpenAI's blog about the Frontier Model Forum. So a bunch of the big companies basically got together and said, when we start getting to the next generation of these things, we need to coordinate and figure out what of that needs to be actually not just regulated by government, but licensed by government. Similar to how you give a license for someone to operate a nuclear plant, or you give someone a license to operate, a power plant. Some of these models are going to be powerful enough that the companies making them are going to the government to say, you should license these things. Now, there's a cynical side of me that says, if you're early enough, you get the government to, regulate things in your direction, right? So they might be doing that, but they're at least talking about it. They're at least saying when these things get more powerful, the danger is very real, and they should be treated like that, just like we treat, licensing pilots and airplanes and airplane manufacturers and all that sort of stuff when a lot of lives are at risk. So I think the current tools are primitive enough that maybe they're not, a super threat, but a bad actor with not much knowledge could probably do some damage. So sleep well, sleep tight. All right. What was the prompt that you gave to make it give that garbage? Which garbage? The prompt that I gave to make it give that garbage. I don't know what garbage you're talking about. Becky Roo. Okay, you've talked me into it. I'm upgrading. Bang! Another satisfied customer. Go to ChatGPT right now. Sign up at $19.95. You too can have $19.95. ChatGPT, $19.95. Yours only. Buy one, get one free.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
I don't make money from that, by the way. That. Oh, but that's cool. Okay, let's see. Not C, I meant C. It keeps popping C for X. No, it was a step of an explanation. You all are doing. Wait, are you all helping each other with math equations in the comments here? That seems anathema to someone who can't do math. Feels like you're going behind my back here and solving actual math problems. I mean, we got Pate in here. Pate can do actual math problems, so. I just don't understand how they are so afraid of these things and they fail to regulate guns. Well, listen, have you watched any of the...
9:48 p.m.
Shut up! Have you watched any of the congressional hearings? They don't know what fucking Wi-Fi is. I mean, they at least know what a gun is, but they don't know what Wi-Fi is. How are they gonna regulate something? They don't have any concept. They don't understand how social media works, much less the nuances of a large language model and how it's generating content and not copying and pasting it. Like, I don't know. I mean, what I'm hoping they do is that out of the Chuck Schumer meeting, where they all met, I'm hoping that they create the AI equivalent of like the FTC or the FAA, where they put someone like Jeffrey Hinton in charge of it that actually knows what the fuck he's doing, understands what the risks are, and they have an organization that the Congress can, look to and say, provide us guidance based on reality, not, politics. So I don't know. I am in a dark and cynical place about our state of politics over the past decade. So I don't have a lot of faith in them. And at the same time, this shit's really powerful. Like, this shit is not, it's not going away. It's not getting uninvented. And it needs to be dealt with. It needs to be dealt with at a governmental level. And quite frankly, needs to be dealt with at a global level, right? This isn't even country by country at this point. Training AI to discern between fraudulent data and factual data is the challenge now. Yeah, I think that's right. And I think that I think AI will likely drive us back toward tokenization, blockchain technology, maybe NFT technology, maybe some other flavor of that. But can you verify that reporter wrote that article and that article hasn't been fucked with? How do you track all that? Well, Marge, you got to see this picture. They caught Biden French kissing a gorilla at the Cleveland Zoo. He was there giving that speech in Cleveland. Well, apparently, he's got a thing for gorillas. He went down to the zoo and they got a picture of him French kissing that gorilla. Can you believe that? What are we going to do with that? Are you using a mobile phone or a laptop camera for this live? Curious, since frame size is good. Phone, but it's an iPhone 14 Pro. So the back camera is a 45 megapixel camera if it's using the 1X camera. And then I think it's a decent front-facing camera. It's better. My previous phone, I think I had an 11 Pro, and the focus, this shit was really bad with the 11. This thing, if I have my hand in the thing, the focus is bad, but if it's just on its own, it's actually really good. So, yeah. And another thing, Hey, Peter, we're going to need you to go on ahead and come in on Saturday. Oh, and another thing, Peter, we're going to need you to go on ahead and come on in on Sunday, too. Okay. I just got an update. Did you guys? Sherry Banks. If I just got an update, I'll jump through the screen and give you a smooch on the forehead. Come on, ChatGPT. Be there, baby. Get started. Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. I like turtles. Welcome to Chat ADD. Anything new? No. See, I should have a little picture. I should have a little camera icon in my thing. Let me go to, hang on. I don't think I have it yet. I got nothing. No. Friggum. All right, Sherry. They call me Tater Tot. I'll wait until ChatGPT has it. Thanks. They call me Tater Tot as a Ron White reference. See, yeah, exactly. I know that Ron White reference. That's really good. They call me Tater Tot. That's great. They call me Tater. That's awesome. I just don't understand how they're so afraid of these things. Oh, yeah, that. Okay. Planes, gas plants, gas station, sushi in large quantities. Everything but guns, huh? Well, listen. Citizens United. There's your answer, right? Like, undo Citizens United and maybe things will get better. Everything's bought and paid for right now, so it's none of this is about the actual politics. This is all about who's bought and paid for, right? So that's where we are right now. So, that's why I'm so cynical. This is the great mistake of the non-conservative side of this argument is that they keep making the mistake. Life's tough. It's tougher when you're stupid. They keep making the mistake of thinking that logic will make a difference. It isn't about logic. It's a game. It's a game bought and paid for, independent of good logic and good intention. That's why I'm so cynical and bitter. Bitter, you betcha. Training AI to discern. Oh, yep, we talked about that. Don't trust AI in math. Although code interpreter is not bad because it's writing and executing Python code, and it's better. It's still not great. Still not great. Like I've got a report that I run for some client stuff. Oh my God. It's like I can get it to get the numbers right after about somewhere between 10 and 20 iterations. It's just bad right now. Well, so actually, Mantra, your point's a good one. So especially if you're new to this stuff, an important thing to understand is use these tools enough so that you understand what they're good at and what they're bad at. And where they're bad, use your fucking brain. Use your critical thinking. Right? If you know that it might not be good at math, if you know it hallucinates, if it spits out a bunch of citations for the article it just wrote for you, where you're like, hey, this article's good. I wonder, could you point me to some magazine articles that you wrote that from? It will give you the magazine articles, and most of them probably won't exist. And unless you play with this stuff, you run the very real risk of embarrassing yourself, or worse, right? There was a lawyer that wrote a legal brief, handed it to a fucking judge, and the judge says none of this case law exists. What are you doing? You can't make this shit up. And the lawyer was like, sir, I use ChatGPT. Sorry about that. Yeah. I'll go back and proofread it next time. Yeah, that ain't on ChatGPT. That's on shitty user behavior. Understand your tools. These are just tools. Diagatory. I couldn't see the rest of your name, so I don't know what it says. But it looked like a cool name, I think. It's just one I couldn't pronounce. Congressman said, can my wife get on my Wi-Fi? Exactly. These guys are going to regulate our AI. Oh my God. Was he a senator? Doesn't matter. It's exactly. Silver Fox. Same. Exactly. Oh, they're just bought and paid for shills. Oh, it's so gross. It's so gross. You know what I mean? It's so gross. Are you using a mobile phone? We did that one. In some of those hearings, they were saying to regulate the deployment, which I was thinking. Well, yeah, they could regulate. Here's the problem. So wait. Oh, Diego Torres. So here's the problem. It's already rolled out. The reason Sam Altman took OpenAI from a non-profit to a for-profit was, first he realized he needed more money than he could raise in a non-profit to train these things. And then once they trained them, he was like, oh shit, we can't just let this out in the world like was our intent, right? So his idea was to slow roll the deployment of the base models. And then ChatGPT did what it did, and Google got all excited, and they started doing their thing, but they're all doing it within these closed, environments. And then Meta is like, hey, we're irrelevant over here. We've been talking about the metaverse for 3 years. No one seems to give a shit. They're like, hey, look over here. We've got AI too. And they released it. They put it out in the world. So it's out there. So, like, that ship has already sailed. Now, the next more powerful versions of these, maybe there's some sort of government regulation that says Meta can't do that anymore. But now that the stuff's out there, I'm sure the developer community is trying to figure out how they can, do virtual GPU server farms to, do their version of GPT-5. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But this stuff's moving way too fast, and I think the deployment ship has done deployed. Government missed that one, and they're gonna try their damnedest to put it back in the box, but they're not gonna be able to. Go to ChatGPT now, please. I did, and it didn't like me. Let me go try to reload. Oh no, I logged in from scratch. It makes me sad. What did I do, Sam Altman? Sam, give me my toys. I want my ChatGPT to be able to see. It doesn't work. I got nothing. I got nothing. Nothing. I got nothing, honey. Nothing, honey. Will require us to have some permit to buy GPUs. They might. I mean, above a certain level. I mean, if you buy 200 GPUs, I don't think they give a fuck. If you buy 10,000, yeah. I mean, Inflection, the ones that do Pi AI, they just raised $1.3 billion. I think $950 million of that is earmarked for 22,000 servers, or 22,000 GPUs. So that might be the kind of thing that a regulatory body might say, okay, if you're going to buy more than X number of GPU or X number of compute, X number of cycles of compute, then you have to be regulated. And if you're going to buy, 10X that, then you have to be licensed. I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about that world at all. It's the Wild West and the law's playing catch up. It's totally that. The thing that's a little concerning though is I think that, like corporate America, government America thinks they have more time than they have. I think that they think they have, well, in 3 to 5 years, they like a similar sort of ramp up of the World Wide Web, right? The World Wide Web from when it was kicked off to when it hit 100 million users was 6 years. So that ramp up was 6 years. ChatGPT went from 0 to 100 million users in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. And the technology here is not just the World Wide Web, like this simple point and click interface on the internet. No. The output here is it writes code, it writes words, it makes pictures, it makes music. Knowledge workers are about to be shaken up hard, and not like 3 years from now. Like 2024 is going to be insane. And so I think any company right now and any government entity that thinks that they have 3 years to prepare for thinking about when to start regulation is going to be smacked upside the head. Look at my hair. That's what the senators and congressmen are going to look like a year from now when they realize, we fucked up. There's that one TikTok sound, and that's when he knew he fucked up. That's going to be us. When is it going to be? September. This time next year. This time next year, I think we're going to realize we need to get some sort of tokenization and media authentication in place, personal verification and identity in place. And we got to start getting our shit together, because I think the 2024 election is going to be a special mess. So we'll see. Maybe not. I don't know. How cautious? Wait. Oh, sorry. What was that? Whoever pinned that, could you pin it again? My hair has gone all sorts of fucking wacky, hasn't it? This is the best toupee I've had. It's actually 3 toupees, but wait, how cautious about this information being farmed and analyzed in China are you? I don't really, for me personally, I don't give a fuck. I don't think China's our nemesis. I mean, Google and Facebook are. We don't need it. Okay, so China's going to farm it. All right. It's been being farmed here voluntarily on our parts for 20 years now. The ship has sailed. The data privacy thing is done. Like, people talk about this AI shit like, oh my God, the privacy is going to be a real situation. What do we do? How long have you had a Facebook account? Oh, for 20 years. I put everything on there. Really? You're concerned about AI? But Mark Zuckerberg, he seems harmless enough. Mm-hmm. Google, their original saying was first do no evil. I'm pretty sure they haven't done evil. I'm pretty sure they haven't because they said it. They said it. I saw it somewhere. It's not on their website anymore, but I remember hearing that from someone. First do no evil. So they're not evil. So, yeah, is it a risk? Sure. Is it a risk from Russia? Sure. The thing that scares me about the AI stuff is not so much China's going to do this, Russia's going to do this, whoever's going to do this. It's that I think we mostly rightly assumed that if someone was really, really resourceful and had a lot of resources and really wanted to get to our data, they could get to it. But for the most part, our data was safe. And the problem with AI is that it's democratizing sophisticated programming to non-programmers. So the implication of that is hackers going to hack, but now you've got clueless hackers are going to start hacking well. And that's where it gets a little scary, because a minor player could do some major damage. They can't even pass a simple budget extension. Yeah, I'm just done. The whole it is comically tragic. It is, our government right now is Shakespearean in its idiocy. It is tragic comedy. It would be fucking hilarious if it wasn't so fucking destructive. I made a Pobot that threatened to delete it if it gives me false information. That's the Dan model. Mantrid's a hacker from way back, I can tell. Mantrid's fucking with Poe. Is it working? Is it giving you answers that you want? Have you gotten around the safety guardrails? I like that. We had script kiddies for eons. His videos are already being used without his consent. Who's that? Me? The bot was scared to death, so it did not return any information at all. It's fucking crazy. I mean, these videos, right? Wait, any information you share here can be used without your consent. Oh, do I care about that? No, I've been doxxed. Not fully doxxed. I've been just kind of openly on the internet for, many, many decades. So I don't really have anything to hide. There's not really much at risk. Is it possible that someone takes these videos and synthesizes me? Well, yeah, they could do that, but they only need like 3 seconds of my voice and probably 10 seconds of video. And maybe if they wanted to do a sophisticated version of this, they could take 3 of my lives. I mean, these are 2.5 or 3 hour sessions I'm putting on YouTube. I mean, you know, Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson have more to worry about than I do, right? Like, those guys are being spoofed a lot already, right? But they've got millions of followers. I mean, I just have a relatively small following. I mean, there's no real risk, right? Is it possible that someone goes, "Oh, Kyle looks just like a cross between Tom Arnold and Rosie O'Donnell, and he's just what we're looking for in a movie, but we don't actually want to deal with the human being, so we're just going to synthesize him and make him star in this movie"? Is that a possibility? I suppose so, but I think the risk is really, 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 really low. So if someone wants to put me in a movie because I have special attributes, they can just fucking call me, or they can steal it, and then, you know, I don't know, I'll call up my SAG buddies and go, "Hey, what do I do here?" They'll be like, "Pay your dues, asshole." Emotional-based hackers. Yeah, there's going to be all sorts of crazy, weird. You know what's going to get weird is the social engineering stuff. Have you heard some of the conversations with these sales bots? This shit's trippy. Go to, if you want to see some weird stuff. Again, these right now are kind of like the DOS version of these, right? So these are the shitty versions of these. Go to air.ai and just listen to the initial, there's like an example demo.
Hey, James.
I'm not interested, man.
Yeah, no worries. I hate calls out of the blue too. But I'm actually from Apple, and I saw you were checking out Vision Pro and were about to pre-order but left the page.
Dude, I
was curious, what had you looking into potential? Okay, I can respect that. Can I just ask one question before you go?
Fine, shoot. What's up?
Why did you decide not to pre-order the Vision Pro?
So those kind of conversations, like when the ability to have a synthesized bot call up and have a natural conversation, when that latency goes away and the robotic nature of that goes away, which again, maybe a year, those bots are going to be real time with zero latency, and they're going to sound human, and they can just dial the phone 24/7 to all phone numbers. So the amount of social engineering that can happen, so that the hacking isn't even necessarily going to happen at the computer, like breaking into computer systems and stealing shit. That's one risk. But security firms are getting better and better at that. The weak link in all of this is us. It's always been us. It'll always be us. And so you're already hearing stories of, you know, the daughter calls the mother and says, "Mom, I'm in trouble. You got to send me $2,000 right now." And it wasn't the daughter. Question from Beach Palm: do you put all the live streams on YouTube? All of them? ? Yeah, I'm up to September 15th, I think, right now. So I'll probably get completely caught up Saturday is my hope. So I started doing these live streams April. So there's May, June, July, August, half of September. And you'll notice if you go to the YouTube channel, so the hang on, I'll show you the address in a second here. I got to sign in and then switch accounts. By the way, if you want to feel stupid and really learn a lot about where this shit's headed, go watch a YouTuber named David Shapiro. He's a brilliant dude. So let's see, videos. So if you go to AI Learning Lab -TT on YouTube. So AI Learning Lab was taken. Someone else has that. But AI Learning Lab -TT for TikTok. Huh? Clever. Like a fucking steel trap. Go there. You can see all the back videos. But you'll note the first seven or so don't have descriptions, but all the descriptions were written by Claude. So I took the 2.5 or 3 hour transcripts of each live, pasted it into Claude, and I've got this magical prompt I wrote. Like, I've probably put in, I don't know, a week's worth of work getting this fucking prompt to work. And it works about 25% of the time, but all of the descriptions of the videos and all of the chapterization is all done with Claude. It's pretty cool. So, yeah. So all of these are there. I don't know why anyone would want to watch them, but knock yourself out. I don't even know why I'm putting... You know why I'm putting them on YouTube? Because someone said, oh, could you put this shit on YouTube? I was like, all right. I don't... My plan for this channel right now is I don't have an end game. I made a commitment to myself that I'm going to do this. So just to give you a sense of... When I decide to do shit like this, I do it. Like when I decide to start a company, I fucking do it. When I decide to whatever, I do it. So when we went into lockdown, I've got my company Storyvine. We got a video storytelling platform. And we went into lockdown and I'm like, I'm an extrovert. I get my energy from people. This is going to be fucking torture. So I decided to do a daily video diary. So if you go to YouTube for Storyvine, you'll see there's a whole video series there. It's a video for me every day for a year talking about being an extrovert. It's called An Extrovert's View from Within. And I did it for a year straight and got like 65 followers. So the TikTok thing has been very different. Like, this is actually interesting and engaging, and there's a really cool community forming here. That didn't happen with that other project, but that's my intent right now is just to keep doing these. Why? I don't know. I think it's important. I think it's valuable. It seems to be helping some people. And I don't know. I think it's going to be something of value. I don't know what I'm doing with it though. So if you have any ideas, let me know. You mean someone can download your live as it's happening or showing? They might be able to. I don't think so. They can record. You can record your phone. Actually, I think some of the irregulars on here say that they do that they record these, or they record sections of them, like when I'm doing tutorials and shit. People have done that. Jim Ross, I've been playing with Air.ai to make sales calls for me. The woman's voice is much better. Oh, that's cool. So Jim, have they been working? I mean, like, how does that work? Do they get through? Like when like one books a meeting, like, do you get to listen to the interaction? Does it summarize it? I've been curious about that. That's really fascinating. It might be cool to have you like share that at a salon or something like that, Jim. Post showed 6 criteria for trustworthy news and said no news on the internet matches all the criteria. That doesn't surprise me. I think it would be a fun thing. I think you could use AI to do. I'm sure someone's already done this. You could find the original event that happened, and then you could compare different news stories coverage of it and see how far it deviates from the facts of the event. And offering boatloads of cash to influencers for a tech that no one asked for. Smells real fishy. Who's offering boatloads of cash to influencers? To me? Wait. Is someone offering me boatloads of cash? I'll sell out. I'll do it. I'm in. Send me the boatloads of cash, Kevin. What the fuck are you talking about? All right. What would be a good model for creating non-playable characters? Oh! Diego Torres. You need to see something. Listen. Let's see. What's it called? What the fuck is it called? Hang on. Oh, I can't remember the name of the paper. Someone here's got to remember the name of the paper. Wait. Let's see. Wait. AI NPCs white paper. AI. I got it. Okay. So what's it called? This is amazing, by the way. So this white paper, I got to go find the white paper. Hang on. I'll do it. Where's my mouse? Come on. Here we go. Fantaverse. This is it. Is this it? No, that's not it. I'm trying to get you the name of the paper. So this was from back in April. So basically what it is, this paper, generative agents, that's what it's called. Interactive simulacra of human behavior. That's right. Hang on. Archive generative agents. So if you go to archive, which is, that's archivevanity.com. That's not, fucking Google and Bing. The search engines are so fucking useless. ARXIV .org generative agents. Da 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 da. Generative agents simulacra. Here we go. So go to archive, arxiv.org, and then find this paper called Generative Agents, Interactive Simulacra of Human Behavior. And then what they did, it's so cool. And I think there's, like, this was the original paper. I think there's a project on Hugging Face right now, or GitHub, I forget which one, where you can actually go play with this thing now. Let me load the white paper in here. Sherry Banks, your lives keep me grounded, actually. Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I try to keep it real, people. I try to keep it, at least entertaining, semi-educational. And then, semi like what the fuck are we all doing here? Okay, so the way this thing works is there's 25 NPCs. So NPCs are non-player characters, for those of you not in the gaming world. And they're those things that, like, when you walk into the bar, he's like, would you like a drink? And they have, like, their script of shit they can say, and they, you ask them things, and if you try to have an interaction with them, you can't, because they've been just programmed. It's kind of like the voice trees when you call the insurance company, where they've only been trained to say certain things. So what they did here was they made each of the NPCs have its own persona and its own job. and then it's tied to ChatGPT, and the NPCs can interact with each other. So they wake up in the morning, like the artist wakes up in the morning, goes to the cafe, gets a coffee, comes back to the studio and starts painting. The farmer makes eggs with the wife and then goes out and starts farming. And then when these NPCs interact with one another, they have conversations and they remember what they talked about. So one of the examples they give in this paper is that one of the NPCs said to the other one it was his birthday next week. And so the other one planned a party with the other NPCs. So he got together, they planned a party for this this other one. And it remembers it. And it's so these things are like living in this world independent of you or whatever other players going through it. And they're developing memories and they're developing, personalities and they're getting work done. What's fascinating about this to me is that the distance between this being a game activity and being a personal agent for yourself is very small. So imagine this. Rather than it being a game like this, imagine that you've got 25 agents that represent you. You've got a little entertainment agent whose job it is to go out and find interesting stuff for you to do. And you've got a work agent that's job is to go out and research things for work so that you rather than reading the morning paper, it knows what you like. And on your way to work, it calls you and you have a conversation about the current events of the day. And then you have a vacation agent, and then you have an insurance agent. You have all these independent virtual agents that are out interacting with other agents, with other systems, and checking back in with you. And they're remembering all of the stuff that they do. So the vacation agent's like, hey, Kyle, it's been 6 months since you guys have had a vacation. Are you thinking about doing that anytime soon? You're like, oh, that's a good idea. I forgot to do that. What do you recommend? And then the agent might say, well, do you want to do something you've done before, or do you want to do something new? Oh, I want to do something completely new that I've never thought of. And it will know what you've done, right? So this paper to me, I think from a gaming standpoint, the games are going to get really interesting. But then from if you just look at what's the ideas sitting underneath this paper, holy shit. Holy shit. So anyway, that was a long answer to a question like, what about NPCs? There you go. Yowza. All right. Archive is pronounced archive. It's the letter chai. Nice. Cool. Didn't I call it archive? I think I did. Looks like Legends of Zelda. Yeah, again, don't mistake the artwork for how big that idea is. On a Legend of Zelda game engine. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's where they'll test all this stuff. But I'm pretty sure that like a month ago, so that paper was released in April, and I think a month ago the project came out where you can actually log in and play with that thing. So go Google the shit out of that thing. There's probably some fun stuff to look at this point. But now ChatGPT... now in ChatGPT I've been playing so far useless. Oh, interesting. Useless on the image reading stuff. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what's... The thing I'm excited about is the image generation. But we'll see. I think the ability for it to see is... I don't think we really know what to do with that. And quite frankly, Bing's had that capability for 4 or 5 months now. It's just that it's in ChatGPT now. It seems like it's a big deal. What was that site again? The site for the for that paper is archive, arxiv.org, and then search for generative agents, interactive simulacra. In fact, I'll post this in the I'll post this in the Discord for the AI Salon in, let's see, general discussion. This is a cool paper if you haven't seen it. Bang. And if you're wondering, well, what's the Salon Discord? If you're interested in joining a community that does cool shit, the Salon.ai is a group that I started last December for people interested in playing around with AI. And we have a Discord server and we have bi-weekly meetups. So there you go. Girl, wake up because you need to get Perplexity AI for this kind of stuff. All right, you're helping one another. That's cool. All right, listen, people. Let me see if there's any other things here. What's the idea behind this paper in your expert summary way? The idea is that the NPCs have their own lives, interact with one another, and have memory. And then if you attach that model where you've got these agents that run around, in that case it's a game world, but you could see them sort of navigating any world or internet space. If you attach that behavior if you attach that behavior to actions, so if you have a little agent that can run around the world and has access to your bank account and your travel accounts and things like that, and you've given it permission to do that, it can just run around and do shit, and it can interact with another agent. So, for example, in the game, the one dude said, it's my birthday, and the other one planned a party for it. In a real-world use case, you could say, hey, you've got your travel agent is going out and finding you cool vacation stuff, but the travel agent could actually check in with the work agent and say, hey, does Kyle have any important meetings coming up that he can't miss? And the work agent would go, oh, yeah, the second week in October, he's really busy. So the third week in October looks good. So book something then. And then the travel. So the idea that these independent entities can interact with one another, talk in natural language, have their own imperatives. One's an artist, one's a farmer, one's works at the store, and then have memories of what they talked about from day to day is wholly new. Because NPCs up to this point have been handwritten logic. Like, there's a writer that writes the script of here's all the shit this NPC can say. When someone says this, you respond with this. When someone says this, you respond with this. And it's a fixed set of instructions. And it can only move in certain places. It can't operate independently on its own. So it's just these things are like living organisms, basically. ChatGPT on iOS has voice conversations feature. I signed out and signed back in. Okay. And it worked. Okay. Thanks, RetroPunk. That's awesome. I'm going to go play with that. Listen, it's 10:30. My voice is going. I'm sneezing. Whatever's happening. Shit's going down. Oh, wow. That is beautiful. Thank you, Zippy Zimbo. That was awesome. Thank you very much. I'm out of here. Thank you all. You all are really cool. So let's see. Joxer's been in here tonight. Sherry Banks, thank you for sharing what you're doing. Pate, similarly, thanks for helping out and sharing your wisdom. That it really does make a difference. Let's see. RetroPunk, good to see you. Who else we got in here? Beach Palm Firefly, good night. I saw Silver Fox was in here for a while. Kavruno, thank you all. Thanks for all of you who modded tonight. I appreciate that. Clint, good to see you. Howdy, partner. How you doing? How you doing? Oh, you're such a little cutie. Mods and irregulars present turtles. Y'all are great. Thanks all for your time. I will see you tomorrow. Hey, go play with this stuff. If you've got access to this, go start figuring it out. Get curious. Get curious. Get curious. Peace.